Hey, it's really, really late, and I shouldn't be up right now because I've got work tomorrow. In about 12 hours, actually. But I forgot that about a year ago I started... Well, was it a year ago? When did this... It was when... Okay, no, it was... I don't know. Whenever it was I finished high school, who knows? I started going on walks really early in the morning. I think it was at 6 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. And I kept a little journal while I was walking there, and if I thought about something, I would write it down. And I haven't looked in here in a long time, so I wanted to look, and I figured I'd bring you along. So on the first page, it says, "This journal belongs to me, Maximilian D. Miller." See? Look. Can you tell? Probably not. It's okay. Here's the first page. "I encountered a squirrel today. Not saw it climb up a tree, but really truly encountered it." And encountered is underlined. "And it outsmarted me. I was looking at it, and it was looking at me, partially. More often than not. It was very deliberately looking past me, as if I were in the way of something important. So I turned to see what I was blocking, and the moment I turned my back on the squirrel, he runs off. He was trying to get away from me the whole time." I wished so badly that I could tell him that, and the other birds I saw today, that they shouldn't be afraid of me. Humans aren't so bad. But unfortunately we are. Wow, that got really sad. I thought that was just going to be a nice story about the squirrel. It turned into the biggest statement about the human condition. Who would have thought? Here's a nice little sketch of, the place I used to walk was in a little park near my house, and off to the side there's a little tiny forest, and there's a little creek that runs through. So I drew a picture. There were like rocks in the creek, and you could sit on them. So I would sit on the rock, and I drew the creek from the perspective of sitting on one of the rocks in there. And I actually quite like this. I might scan it so you guys can get a better look at it. But there's nothing else written on that page, it's just a little sketch. "There's some sort of bird or something giving out a call, and it sounds just like someone cracking a note on a recorder. At first I thought that's what it was, but it keeps repeating the same duration, same pitch, and same crack. It's hilarious. A nice change of pace from the sounds of cars and trucks I can't manage to escape from, regardless of how far into the forest I go. Jesus Christ." Another one. Another one about the fucking how bad humans are. What the hell was I talking about? Let's see. "I just crossed paths with some women a minute ago. They were perfectly decent. They all took their turn giving an uncomfortably necessary hi, which was fine. But the chatter didn't stop amongst themselves, not to me, thank God, but they were talking up a storm, which, fine, in its own right, that's okay. But when I got past them, to a point that they had to just walk by, when I got past them to a point that they had just walked by, there was a ton of ducks. 6 or 7 of them, in the middle of the river. If the women were talking about these ducks, that'd be one thing, but they weren't. They were just making a mess of unnecessary noise, which the ducks probably found annoying because they've all left now." Oh. Sheesh. I was really, really bitter. What the hell? Why was I so bitter? "I was confronted by a man a few minutes back telling me something about a bridge to the other side of the river. I remember this. I think I talked about this on one of the streams before, actually. Those of you who have been a long time around probably remember this story. I think I did tell this on stream the day it happened. I wasn't sure if he was asking for directions or what, because it was clear English wasn't his first language, so I just assumed that's what it was. I told him there was a few not far off on either sides of the road. If he had just moved from that spot at all, he would have seen one. Then he said something about the trees, gesticulating to the small trees around that were getting assistance being grown. Oh yeah, okay, so there's, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. Probably you have. I don't imagine it's too uncommon, but you know, sometimes when like a park is being regulated by the government officials or whatever, they'll plant trees and they'll have little supports for the trees so that they have help growing and that they don't get like knocked down and stuff. I guess that's what I'm talking about here. At that point, I really had no idea what he wanted. Maybe he wanted to... Oh, maybe he wanted to draw them from the bridge? I don't know. So I told him that. I'm not completely sure. He waited a moment, frozen in hesitation, and decided to check someplace else. Probably for the better. I had no idea what I was supposed to help with, or if I was supposed to help at all. It's a great point. Maybe he wasn't looking for help at all. I remember, that's how I remember the story, is that he wanted help with a bridge for some reason. I don't remember that last thought. That seems pretty crucial. I wouldn't be surprised if that was correct. Lots of people on their bikes today. I was hoping that the cloudy sky and the unexpectedly periodic showers would keep people in their homes today, or at least off their bikes. They'll rust. That's a good point. That one is surprisingly not against humans. It was just looking out for the bikes. How convenient that there is always a rock or a bench to stop at any instant I have a thought to write down. That's cute. That's all that's written on the page. So that's great, because that tells a little story in its own. It's like, I had that thought, and I was like, oh, there's a rock right here for me to sit down at, for me to write this thought down. It's like, you can't have one without the other. That's really cute. I like that entry. That one's nice. There's going to be a day when I've forgotten about this space. Oh god, yeah. Okay, so here's a drawing I did of my room back about a year ago. It's completely different now. I don't know if you can see it all too well. But yeah, it's completely different. When I wrote this down, I think I had the intention that when I say I've forgotten about this space, it's probably insinuating that I've moved out. But it also applies to right now, because it's just such... It is a really, really different setup we've got here. So that's nice. I forgot about that. I might scan that one as well. If I don't, oh well, who cares? I should have accounted for the humidity today. It's low 80s with frequent light breezes, but it's so warm, not to mention crawling with people, Jesus Christ. I figured I'd step out today to take advantage of the fact that it's not 90 degrees and I can in fact stand being outside, but I suppose other people had the same thought process. Not to mention it's 15 o'clock on a Friday. Okay, so this wasn't 6 in the morning like I thought it was. Who comes out now? Oh well. I should stop complaining so much. The foresight. The foresight on this guy is unbelievable. There's a mound of clowns peeping over the tree line like a mountain. How interesting. I didn't notice it until I saw its reflection in the water and quickly realized there's no mountains around here. That's cute. So I saw a little reflection in the water that I thought was a mountain, but there's no mountains around, so it had to be clouds. That's cute. The failed attempt of a fisherman hangs in a nearby tree. There's a lure and a bundle of fishing wire dangling down from a branch reaching over the river. Makes me wonder what the fisherman did to mess up that badly, and if he left the day ultimately successful or not. I don't even know when this happened or who did it. They might be dead now, wouldn't that be a shock? But also they might not be. Jeez. Well, I'm right. I guess I was right. There's as likely a chance that he is and is not dead. Schrodinger's fishing man, I suppose. What the hell is this? Oh, I know what this is. It's a little tree stump. It's a little tree stump I drew with mushrooms over the top. Because I remember seeing this. This is along the pathway. There's a little tree stump that's got a lot of mushrooms growing on it. I forgot about that. That's really pretty. I was going to write about how I want to make my footsteps quieter, but a jogging woman just ran past me with screamo music blaring from her earbuds. ... That's 7 dots. I had some real disdain for these people. I remember back in elementary school, early elementary school, like 1st grade, I would always go on the swings with this boy named Jared. Oh, I forgot about Jared. I think. Definitely began with a J at least. Okay, so maybe it wasn't Jared. His head was like a pill, and his hair was so blonde it was almost his skin tone. He left the school pretty quickly before we got to be friends, but I remember one conversation we had about the desert. We were confused as to how anybody could dehydrate there, because you could just swallow your spit and make a tiny hole in your mouth to breathe in cool air. I remember that conversation, I still do. I remember talking with Jared about that. We'll call him Jared for now. I wonder what he's doing now. Yeah. Because, you know, this was before we all had, like, phones and Facebook and stuff. Not to say that's a bad thing. You know, I'm not one of those where it's like, oh, it was better without phones, but yeah, I would like to know what he's up to. And I have no way to figure that out right now. Oh well. I guess I don't really need to. All it would do is satiate my curiosity, and that's not really important, I don't think. I feel bad when other people go out of their way to go on a different path than I'm on, but I suppose I do the exact same thing to them. That's true. I do remember that. Whenever I was walking, people would always, like, see me coming up. And then they'd say, alright, I guess we're going down this different path, where this guy isn't. And I always felt bad about that, but I always did the exact same thing to them, so I never took it too personally. On my way to the park, on the opposite side of the street, was somebody I had gone to school with before changing to LVPA, the art school. Either she didn't recognize me or didn't feel like calling me over, because she said absolutely nothing, and I passed by without any interruption. Both situations are best case scenarios, so either way, thank you, Sharon, for letting me through. Did that Sharon have it one R or two? I can't remember, so I guess it doesn't matter. For what it's worth, in the original paragraph I wrote it with 2 R's, but I might just have one, who knows. I almost stepped on a frog just a moment ago, but it was by accident. I think I really freaked him out because when I bent down to see if he was okay, he jumped in the creek, so I guess he's fine. There was a tan young man sitting on the steps to the cabin. Oh yeah, okay, so in that walk path, there's like a cabin. I still don't know what it's for. I think it's for Boy Scouts, but I never was one and was never friends with any, so I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what I've lived my life with the understanding of, that cabin is for Boy Scouts. So this guy was sitting on that cabin, but I heard him go back inside once he was out of my field of vision. He must have been thinking about something. I would say, I wonder what, but that's really none of my business. Okay, so the guy was sitting there, and then once I passed him, he went back into the building, and I assumed he was thinking of something. I think you can probably make that assumption about most people. I don't know why this one was so profound to me. The factory I walked by didn't smell so bad today. Not to say it smelled good, just not as bad as usual. Come to think of it, I don't actually know what that factory does. Yeah, there's a building by my house. There's a factory there, which is, it's in between my house and then the factory, and then the little walkway I would go on. And it's right in between there, and so I had to walk past it every single time. It always smells really bad. I don't quite know what the smell is, because I've never smelled anything that smells like it before. To me, that smell just is the smell of the factory, and nothing else has ever had it in the history of existence. But yeah, I still don't know what they do there. I only remember living here, and I remember that building for as long as I've been alive. I don't know what they do. I think their logo has, like, cards on it, but I don't know if they, like, make cards or something. I feel like, for some reason, I have the idea of cardboard factory in my head, as in they make cardboard. But I don't know where I got that, or if it's correct. It probably isn't. There was some sort of shrub or short tree around my height, producing very small berries. They looked just like blueberries, in that they were indigo, but I realized I didn't actually know how or where blueberries grow naturally. So of course I didn't risk eating them. Not that I would have if I knew for a fact that they were blueberries, but still. I don't remember that. I don't remember seeing those berries. Oh well, I guess I'm glad I didn't eat them. You can really see a lot of fish in the river today. 2 exclamation marks. Let's see. A, a bry? B-R-Y? A big one looped over the water to eat a lot of the water spiders. I think that's a stream meme, water spiders. This might be where it came from, water spiders. Well, I think I've been saying that my whole life, but this might be the first instance of it, you know, before the stream's documented. And a lot of smaller red ones, maybe the size of my hand, this big, can be seen simply swimming in place. Not sure what they're doing that for, but it's very serene. Oh, and I see one now that's quite large. It's a translucent green and blue... It's a translucent green with blue fins, and it's swimming around and saying hi to all the stationary redfish. Upon closer inspection, it's got a whole cool-colored family. This is lovely. That's nice. There's a big fish. He's going around saying hi to all the other fish, and he's got a little family of his own. That's very precious. I like that entry. There's a lot of people going out with their children today. I wonder why. This may or may not have been written for the sake of getting out of the way of someone walking with their child. That happened a lot. That happened a lot. When I saw someone coming in my path and there was no other place for me to walk, I would usually just like sit down at a bench, because that place was littered with like benches and stuff. Or I would sit on one of the rocks or something and jot something down. That's what happened a lot. Is when people came around, I would just kind of get out of the way, and I guess that was... It may or may not have been one of those times. Not sure when the last time I rode in here was, but I don't think it was nearly this cold. January now, and Dirt No Turd No is going to happen in a few days. Oh god. Alright, so yeah, all of these entries were before the election, I guess. And now it's January, and Donald Trump is about to take office. I don't think much more about that has to be said. Yeah, I agree. Dirt No Turd No, I forgot. I used to call him that, I completely forgot. I remember a couple times outside of my home when hold on. I remember a couple of times outside of my home when I should have died. The first time was in middle school. I was walking to my bus stop when a truck came from around the corner from behind another car blocking my view. The other girl at the bus stop, Nicole, screamed my name because I had already began walking into the road. I don't think I reacted to her because she said that pretty much when the truck came by. I think my nose nearly whiffed the side mirror. The second time was similar. It was after school, now at Charts, you know, the art school, and Rachel's dad dropped me off at home. She was one of the girls I carpooled with every day. I didn't look at the street and just went, but a car was coming and kind of stopped for me, and thank God, that would have been a straight-up collision. I gave a smile and pat the roof of the car and continued home. I do remember that. I didn't remember it until I said that part. I do remember it was so close that I kind of walked by, gave him a wave, and pat the roof of his car and just went. I forgot all of... What a fucking idiot. You don't pet somebody's car when they almost get... Oh my god. Some rowdy teens came by me sitting on the bench and said, "Nice book." I said thanks, but I think they were being snarky, like poking fun at me for writing in a book. I don't really understand, so I guess I don't care. I do remember those kids too. It was definitely cold. I think this was around February. And these kids were just hanging out. I guess it may have been like winter break or something. Because I made a point not to go out during school, during times when the kids would have been home from school, because I didn't want anything to do with them. Or maybe it was a weekend or something. But I do remember these guys coming up and being like, "Nice book." And that's all they said. They didn't say anything rude after that. Like, they weren't like, "Nice book, faggot." Like, they didn't say that. It was like, "Nice book." And I said, "Thanks." You know? Like, I did. I looked up and I said, "Thanks." Because it's a pretty nice book, isn't it? It's got one of these things where you can kind of hold it shut with the elastic, you see? It's got a little thing to mark your page, and it is a nice book. It is a nice book. So I said thank you, because, you know. But yeah, I think they were just being assholes. I need to find my spot again. Here's the fish one. Okay, so this is it. I haven't got anything to say today. Cool. Okay, and then this is the plot for a game that I'm not sure if I still want to make or not, and I think that might be it. I think that's the last entry. So that's it. This isn't the only journal I have, though. It's just the most recent one, and probably the least embarrassing. So I think we're probably gonna... until I get more comfortable sharing my really embarrassing journal entries about, like, the girls I liked in middle school, I think we might be done here. I think we might be done here for now. So I hope you liked it. I think it was a lot of fun. I had a good time sharing my journal entries. Because this is relatively recent, you know? This was, you know, the most recent ones are in, like, January of 2017, I guess. Well, all of them must have been in 2016 after I graduated. You know, like summer, autumn of 2016. Because I don't think I went out during the winter... Well, no, I guess I did, because there's entries in, like, January, so never mind, I guess. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Anyways... If I can find more journals, and they're not super, super embarrassing, I'll share them. But if the time comes to share super embarrassing journals, I'll do that too. Just not too soon. Give me some time. Give me some time. I want to do the least embarrassing one first. So I guess I'll see you later. Thanks for stopping by. That's it.